is he's going to take you through some case studies here on how we actually use logistics, and some of it is around our humanitarian relief, which, by the way, plays into some of these eventually healthcare and all that and how we handle it. But a real live case study, and these are ongoing. Unfortunately, this time of need when there's disasters around the world, our foundation supports these through a lot of different organizations, making sure the right water. And it's interesting when these disasters and national disasters happen, how complex it is to get the right stuff in the right place at the right time for people to be able to react. So, Wally, over to you.
So I'm going to steer off for a minute from the opening. First, my name is Wally Mrozik. I'm a vice president in our customer solutions organization for UPS, and I'll tell you a little bit about what that does, a little bit about UPS. But I was a little bit inspired by some of the questions you just asked about, our culture and our passion. I'm a 37-year employee at UPS. I've had the opportunity to work all over the globe, travel all over the globe. Unfortunately, I've never been to Africa. That's one place I haven't been, but I have been, as UPS, you're always learning. You always have opportunity. So I started out as an accountant. I was a controller for UPS. I was a South Asia district controller and a country manager for China and South Korea years ago before we even had air rights into China. In fact, the funny story is I was sitting one time in Beijing talking with government officials about negotiating air rights to China, and didn't even realize what the impact was until years later when we were talking about it. So it's something you learn all the ways. But the main message here is I've been able to evolve as just a finance guy, more of a business manager over supporting our customers. You don't really see or think of accountants as the people dealing with your customers and finding solutions. But as I'm going to walk you through what we do, that's my area of responsibility is. And as we say at UPS, I have brown blood, and my wife will attest to that. That means when I cut, I bleed brown. That's what this company means to me. The big difference, I think, in our culture at UPS is although we're a corporation, we treat each other as partners. It's a partnership. And I have a plaque on my wall with Jim Casey's picture that talks about being a partner at UPS and why it is different than being an employee of a corporation. And through, you'll find out with everybody you talk to at UPS, we're partners to each other. We go out our way to help each other. We go out our way to help our customers because ultimately that's what grows our business, and we care about each other. So I welcome you to UPS. If it's the first time you're here in the U.S., I welcome you to the United States as well. What I'm going to talk a little bit about is UPS's global reach, and you just saw some of these things on the previous slide. But when you talk about globalization today, logistics, one of the key challenges to customers, to companies out there, is globalization. And the three things that impact that is capital, communications, and the time it takes to globalize. And one of the things we're at UPS are trying to do is we're constantly trying to make life easier for our customers. We're putting in solutions to take that burden off of them because we have that expertise. So you've got a lot of small companies that are trying to go global and trying to figure out ways to go global. We recently bought a company about a year or so ago called iParcel, and the whole purpose of buying that acquisition was to enable small companies, the small mid-sized companies, to be able to market their goods globally and not have to deal with all the challenges that you have to deal with to move goods across borders. So we try and make life easier. We handle 15 million shipments and packages a day that we're delivering. That's huge. So we're just about everywhere. The 220 plus aircraft they have make us one of the top 10 airlines in the world. We're a transportation company, not an airline, but we're one of the top 10 airlines across the world. And then all of our employees. Our employees are dedicated. They have a lot of pride in what they do. They believe in what we do and what we got to do for our customers. And they know that at the end of the day, it's our customers that count. Because we can't grow our business. And our customers in today's world, an omni-channel, it's the end consumer that's driving the business decision today. So think about it in your roles and your responsibilities and the people you deal with. It's those consumers that are demanding what's going to happen. So we have to make sure that we're enabling them to make their customers happy and be able to grow their business. Our integrated network is like no others. We are a fully integrated network. We have all the legs, all the things. Some of the questions were answered about some of the things that you don't think about transportation. I'll talk about a few of those. You think about the 38 million square feet of warehouse space that we run. That's not just package cars, trucks, trailers, those kinds of things moving. That's space that we manage for customers for fulfillment of their products and services. And then one of the things that's often overlooked is our brokerage operation. We have one of the largest brokers across 200 countries in the globe. We are one of those biggest brokers. So let me talk a little bit about customer solutions. So customer solutions, think of customer solutions as a consulting entity within UPS that is there to consult with our customers to help them improve their business processes and how they can leverage the expertise of UPS across it. So when you think about the key roles for us is to create value. Everything's about creating value. How do we create value for our customer? Because we believe if we create value for our customer, we will create value for UPS and the share owners, me, partner, because I am an owner of UPS and I want it to continue to grow. So you think about those things and how we do that. We leverage our technology services, our portfolio services, our supply chain expertise. And you do that across sourcing, manufacturing, distribution, even the selling side. We can help our customers understand the selling side. Fulfillment, delivery, returns, often overlooked. People want to sell their product, but they don't realize that customers, especially today's world, they want to be able to buy 5, keep 1 or 2, send the rest of them back. That's not what they want. That's today's consumer. So the service around that and how we drive all of the UPS capabilities you see here at the bottom of the slide into the value that we could then bring through the customer's processes and help that customer grow. So talking about value, I said value is the key for customer solutions and what we talk about with customers. It is the differentiator for us at UPS when we talk about our customers. We're there to bring value to them. And you've probably seen a chart like this before. You got value creation on the left. And there's really a couple ways that you're going to make value. You're going to impact profit, and you impact profit by what? Increasing your revenues or lowering your costs, or a combination of both. Or your working capital, and your invested capital. Your working capital and your invested capital. Those are the 2 things. So if you move all the way to the right, from a customer solution standpoint, these are the enablers that we have. We look at our supply chain design, our engineering skills, our UPS technology, and sustainability, which I'll talk about these in a little bit more in a few minutes. But those are the enablers that impact the supply chain actions and activities that are going to impact value to the customer. Because at the end of the day, what I'm always asking our people is if you're not providing value to the customer, then why are we even wasting their time? You're wasting your time, you're wasting our time. We have to provide value. And value isn't just the rate that they pay for their transportation package to move point A to point B. There's a lot of other ways to talk about value, which I'll share with you. So how do we do this? We assess their business needs. So we'll go through what we call a supply chain whiteboarding session, which is a holistic approach to their supply chain design. And we'll look at their end-to-end. And we've got some tools that we bring in place that, are pretty cool tools. These are technology, upscale things. We'll bring a whiteboard in. It's not the old days where you bring a piece of paper in and you start writing these down. We have people that in advance make sure they understand that customer supply chain. We build those things into a program. We display them on a whiteboard that we can actually draw on and write on, where we have people in the room from the customer, hopefully their senior leadership, sharing where their direction they want to go, what they want to accomplish, to identify where the needs are that they have that UPS can make an impact and bring value to them. And it may be from sourcing, it may be from the end delivery, it may be where their DCs are located. It could be a lot of different things. But you look at where their procurement, how they handle their procurement. So all of these practices, and we have Ron said earlier, we look at really these 6 main focuses for industry expertise. So you have the retail, the healthcare, high tech, the industrial and automotive, and then government, and then professional services. All right? We have people with expertise in each of these industries. And then we have people in our organization with expertise in disciplines of engineering, supply chain, technology. And I'm going to talk to you in the next slide how we marry these together. But it's bringing that expertise and that knowledge together with the customer that we make the investment in with that customer to identify areas where we can improve their supply chain, improve their processes, and bring value to them. So this is the design and build section. And I get a little more excited about this one because this is my area that I'm responsible for. I have engineers, technologists, finance people, sustainability people, all these disciplines up here that bring these solutions, design the solution for the customer. So as I said in the beginning, Customer Solutions is sort of a consulting company within UPS organization, and UPS has all these vast services that we can provide. And not all of those services often match up to exactly the need that that customer has. So we bring our people into play to come and identify how we can then match these things up. So if you look at supply chain optimization and we're going through these processes, what is the network design for that customer? Is it the optimal network design? Are there DCs in the right location? It's amazing when you go through and you start mapping out where customers shipping, and you put on a map and you show them that they've got a DC in the West Coast, they got a DC in the middle, and they got a DC on the East Coast, and they think everything's great. And then you show them, you overlay where their shipments are actually going and how much of their product is actually moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, and they're paying additional transportation costs when they really don't have to, and it's because they haven't optimized their network, they haven't optimized where their inventory is located, because they're not looking where their customer demand is. All that comes into that supply chain optimization view. Our engineering services, our process redesign and warehouse layout design. We deal with this every day with our customers. We are experts at this. We have the knowledge base to deal with this. A story that I like to tell in this area is it was a few years back, and I was standing with a customer, and it was like 2 days after they just broke a wall into a concrete wall next to them because they were expanding in there. So you got this rough concrete broken wall, and I walk in there and they've got racking up that's about 10% full of boxes and product that they have. And as I'm talking to them about what they're going to do and how they're going to try and evolve to bring in more business and build this up, I can't help but see this person behind him back in the distance that keeps picking up something from this side of the room and takes it over to this side of the room, and then comes back empty-handed, picks something up from this side of the room and takes it over to this side of the room. And after about 10 minutes of this, I had to stop him. I said, okay, I got to ask this question. I said, what does that person do? And he said, well, they've just been did pick and pack operation, and now they're taking it over to the shipping location to ship the packages. And as somebody's growing, and we all experience this even in our personal life, you tend to see it every day and you just walk by it. Doesn't mean a whole lot to you. Things are moving fast, you got other priorities. To me, what I see is waste of time. So the first thing I'm talking about is, well, do you think it'd be better if we may have built a process to move it so the packages are going where the shipping station is so that we don't have to move somebody each time? And as you'll hear maybe from our engineering people later today from UPS, we measure everything. We measure everything to how long it takes to get off of that package car, how long it takes to get to the door to deliver a package. We train our people basically to the degree of where that they have to put their key ring to their vehicle on their pinky finger when they're holding on to the handrail to get into the vehicle, to start the car while at the same time they're putting on their seatbelt. Because every second, every moment that we save over the life of all of our employees is a great deal of money. So those are the kind of things that we bring together when we talk about process reengineering, is we're looking at things differently than maybe than the customer's looking at to try and improve their areas of responsibility. Technology and visibility kind of goes without saying. It's huge. Everybody wants technology. Everybody wants to know now, especially in today's world. Young folks today, they don't have patience. They don't want to wait. They want, Amazon is driving this to everybody as well. You ship it today, and I'm going to tell you an hour where it is, and I'm going to tell you the moment it gets delivered. That's the demand. And we talked about UPS's evolution over the years. We have to evolve. We have to be able to provide those services to our customers. We recognize that, and we're working diligently to do that all the time. We have to make the adjustments. You have to adapt. So we have a lot of technology solutions that we are able to provide to a customer to give them the visibility of their goods. You have information flow, funds flow, and goods flow, right? We can support all of those areas, and we believe they're important. So we do that through that area. And then the last one I'll talk about is the sustainability group. It's not something that's well known, but we started a sustainability organization a number of years ago, and I think you're going to hear about that later today, the overall UPS sustainability. But within Customer Solutions, we built a carbon calculator. And if you talk about sustainability out in the world today, especially, believe it or not, Europe is probably the highest area for concern about this, although the U.S. is growing quickly. A third level, what I talk about when we talk about network optimization is sustainability. It used to be service or time in transit, how fast, how quickly, how long does it take to get there, and cost. And they play with those two levers. Now you have officers and organizations and companies that really believe in how do I reduce my carbon footprint? Because I want my company to be able to say we're green, and how we're reducing what the carbon output is. So we developed a calculator a number of years ago that's specific to the UPS network. It's not these averages you get off the internet or off Google or things like that. When you put a package in UPS's network, we can tell you based on where that package is going to flow, how it's going to flow. It may go air part of the way, it may go ground part of the way. It may hit this location or it may hit multiple locations. We track all that carbon output for all those, and we're able to provide a sophisticated report back to the customer and measure this on a regular basis. If you go to ship a package as a consumer today, you go to the UPS store, ship a package, you have a box there you could click that I want to purchase carbon offsets for that. And what that means is that's not extra money going into UPS's pockets. That means that you, as a diligent consumer, want to reduce the carbon effect on UPS, on the environment. So we will take that money and we will invest it in carbon neutral offerings, what do you call it, trees, rainforests, those types of things, to replenish the earth, to reduce the carbon. And we buy these carbon offsets, and we only buy gold standard carbon offsets, which is our highest level of carbon offsets. We purchase those. We do that on the behalf of the consumer. So we have this program when it talks about sustainability is what's most important to you when you're looking at your network. Because we can play with all these levers. It just depends. If you want less carbon, that means probably going ground, which means it may impact your service that you want to give to your customer, or it may impact the cost. All of these things play together, and we work with the customers to develop those solutions and look at that. And then we have an overarching project management process that we will put project managers to manage all of these different projects that we work with customers to make sure that we're delivering them based on the commitments that we make with our customer and their customer as well. So now I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about the global humanitarian logistics that UPS is involved with and the programs we're involved with. UPS supports USAID